Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Frozen, and today we're playing some more SpellRogue. So,
how bold of you?
We're going to be back with a Tsar at this point. And you know what? I need to figure something out on how we're going to do this Descent 6, right? I think I really need to. And you know what? I think a lot of the issues I'm having are to do with, like, not having enough damage and not having enough shot, like, defense as well, right? That always tends to be the issue. So we're gonna have a look at what we can do here and get some healing with the Phoenix. And I think actually maybe going this route as well to receive the wound, the block, and everything else might be the best way. Go back to doing, like, some of the more successful runs I had and see what we can do on Descent 6. During normal battles, enemies start with 4 power, but we get the gold. That's kind of interesting. An enemy gains a spell mirror, but then we have to receive a random 2-point mutator, and every form receive a vexed die. I don't really like any of these, but the 4 power I can probably play around, so let's try and shoot ourselves in the foot, shall we? Let's try and do that. Got a way to do 2 elite fights. We'll try it. Try it early. Probably should have gone the other way, so I could have made the decision to bail if I needed to, but I already have problems as it is, right? I already have problems as it is. We are just going to be taking a lot of damage. Anyway. All these early fights are going to be a pain, so we're just going to have to, like, deal with them as much as we can. Right? As much as we can. Get more defense again. You never know, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we will get lucky. Do that there. Kill that. And kill him. The extra 5 healing is going to be actually pretty good. It's going to make a difference overall. I don't really care about power gain. The 4 block can be useful. Especially with splitting die, I can get like 4s into 2s as well. And Fickle Power is actually pretty good upgraded, so it is worthwhile because it does give me a form of healing. To choose to gain an artifact, I will take that. I think this will be pretty good. Each turn -3 to a random countdown spell. Kind of useful. Turn 1 charge, all die in countdown and X effects get +1. That's actually pretty good, and I do like it. We'll take it. X effects are the things to watch out for, because they can actually have a really big impact. So this is kind of what I want, is the extra healing on this. Because this will actually help me out in the long run. We have now a form of defense and healing, and we do stack damage on a turn. So let's hopefully see what we can do. Luckily, these don't get the bonuses that I was worried about from other things. So, like, here now, this becomes kind of irrelevant. No, I would say irrelevant, but not really. But actually, it's pretty good, actually, still, because I can still gain a lot of block with just the ones. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Let's split that die a few times, stack up some damage. Get the 4 in there to get the set off later for next turn. Now, I have 45, half of 45 is what, 27? And I will trigger it with 3 of them. I think. So this should trigger the healing. No, not 27. 22. My brain is falling apart at the seams, it would seem. Here we go. you know, me not being able to function is not the first time it's happened and will not be the last. But a 2 to get 2 healing, because I only take 1 damage, I get 1 healing back pretty much. So I'm actually using that. If I do that, just to make sure I get the wound for next turn. Yeah. 4 can go there. Guess we use the 1. 2 can go there, and then we just get more armor. But yeah, trying to get like actually anything decent at the moment's been quite a difficult situation, I will admit. That's a good split. The main issue I find with it is it's kind of like, well, what can I actually do to try and survive most of these interactions, right? Hopefully get a kill this turn. Oh no, I can't because I haven't actually upgraded anything. Ah, problems. Problems already. Will I survive my own wound strategy? This is now the question. That's a pretty good split. Do we do it here as well? Yeah. So. That's a heal. That's a heal. I'm just so low on life, I need more healing. I am in need of healing. 4 block of a wound die, healed 2. Blood ward is actually pretty good for defense. I do like it. Roll a wound. That's actually pretty good, actually. The setup as well, and healing. So I have the option to avoid the other elite fight if I want to, but I think I kind of need to do it. Right? Just to get what I want out of it. Which is kind of annoying, but it's what we'll end up having to do. I got a terrible roll here, so let's just set this up. This is mainly just to keep the healing going, so I can actually start, like, you know, take more damage later. Cool. Split that out, do it again. Nice, that goes there so I can heal some back. Which rolls another wound, which is great. This gives me healing here and here. This will set up for a wound die for next turn. Now I can take this guy out. And look, start chipping away at the rest of them. Do I actually go Fickle Barrier here to try and heal up a little bit more as well? Or is it worth me taking these guys out? I think it's worth taking the guys out, isn't it? I wouldn't think it would be worth taking the summons out, but I think it's actually the best idea. Sorry, I was readjusting my mic. Again, I think this just gives me defense plus some healing, so it's worth me rolling this a few times. That was a really good bunch of 3s. 2 and a 1. 2 can go in there. 4 goes in there, and so does the 5 as well to make sure we got defense. Now I guess we just deal as much damage to this guy as possible. So I want to be able to one-shot them next turn, and hopefully we live. We're playing a dangerous game here, a very dangerous game. I actually have to... No, I can split the 1. Get 10. There we go. We're playing a game where I'm low life, like, constantly, just trying to deal as much damage as possible. Vindictive Strike, thank you very much. You are something I can use quite well. I don't have any shards to put you in, but I think I do need you. Now, this is the question. What's the other elites that I can face off against? It's the Pyro guy, which has a lot of health, which will probably end up taking me out because I don't have enough defense and healing for him. Because with the incinerating, or the embers and stuff like setting up my things still 2 damage to me. I can't take 14 damage. I can pay gold. We'll pay the gold, get run out of Hatic. Plague Pestilers, yeah, it's doable. I can work with that. Because all it will do is it'll land on my defensive structures and I wouldn't actually gain any defense, which would be a problem. And that's kind of what I foresaw. Probably should have changed this out for the other one, to be honest, but yeah. Really? This just so I can get some healing off. Not that it's actually going to do very much in the long run. Set to have 2 wounds and try and deal damage to the front one, I guess. And then we're going to set up something up so I can actually get, like, more charges out of a spell here. I think. Use the 4 here. Get a 3. This helps reroll that. Do it again. The 2 gives me some healing and defense. Now, do I just go try and go for the 1-shot on these guys? Or at least one of them. Actually, I should actually have a pretty good chance at a 1-shot anyway, right? So let's do that. I probably can't use all these die. But we are going to kill stuff. Anything that gives me, no, 4 block, no, reroll those. On health loss, increase, reclamation, thank you, you are again something that's kind of useful. I think, yeah, is the Vindictive Strike worth it? It is if I can get it to play it, but I just don't have the space for it right now. Same with reclamation, later it'll be great. But I need the rest of them to keep me alive and generate the wounds. So it's kind of a catch-22, I think, here. I think we're stuck between no man's land, unfortunately. That's actually just really good here. Because the extra healing is what's going to keep me alive, right? Snare stuff. Okay, so I can use the snare thing once if I need to. 3 in 1, that works out perfectly. Do we split this? See if we get a 2, because that could be useful. Do I use the 2 in the way I want to use the 2? I think I... The thing is, I want the damage, and I don't want this to be triggering around a lot, but it might just be fine to essentially set myself up, right? Like, the 3 goes here to get the wound for next turn. 2 goes here to get some healing, and I'm already in the danger zone anyway. This 10 can go here to kind of, like, disable some of their armor. Because then that'll go up by 2 to go to 12 for next turn. Which can one-shot this guy. And I could do the same with this. Or just set this guy up to be killed later as well. Take more out, less attacks mean better benefits for me in the long run, right? Okay, this is not a good sign. That is all we're going to say here. Just put that in, see what happens. Get a 2. Do it again. Get another 2. Okay. I guess we'll split one of the 2s, because that's just a good idea. play one of these here. Do that again. I've got to be able to spend one of the 2s before I can put it in the other thing, so it goes there for now. This guy I can kind of take out, so that's fine. Well, I probably should have done it the other way around. Do it again. I guess I just do this to gain the defense and make sure that I've got the wound for next turn. So I can't kill that without, you know, setting up something awkward. Split the 6 up, 2 3s. There we go. A wound die. Another one. Another 2. Yeah, I knew the 4 was going to do that to me every single time. It's extremely frustrating when it happens. The good news is the Blood Ward is actually counteracting anything with 3 or less, right? So we're kind of like in a decent place for that to keep happening. Get some healing. Like 2s will always heal me 1, but with this, that's the other benefit. That gets up. Use this here. I didn't actually need to do that, but my fault. If anything, we came out that with more life than we went in. Again, I'm re-rolling here because I need something that actually gives me life, or like leech. There we go. Increased by 2 this combat. To deal 6 damage on health loss, increased by combat. So this is what will replace the Crimson Pulse instead now. Although it's great scaling, overall, it's not the best. I think Reclamation now can start switching over from this, I think. Nah, Reclamation is probably a little bit too slow still. I need to get an upgrade to it before I can actually make use of that. And we just take the extra health, don't we? Do I want to use... I want to use all of these, to be honest, still. So, yeah, I'm not going to get rid of them. Give me the extra wiggle room, and let's see what we're doing against the boss. I think it's one of the things that I took away from, like, Magic when I first started playing that, is that health is just a resource. And, like, trying to wrap your head around that, the idea that your health is just a resource is very difficult, right? Like, it's not an easy thing to sit there and think, oh yeah, I can just spend my health and I should be alright. You know, you kind of think, I need my health to live, and, you know, as long as you have 1 hit point, you're normally safe. So, yeah, for me and all that stuff, it's an old habit to try and get out of as such. All I'm doing here is ramping this up and making sure I got enough defense at the moment. Like, I generally don't care about anything else. Although we're having some really bad luck rolling 2s. Oh, cool, 2. We are the defensive build. Really broken. That is going to keep scaling. That is going to keep scaling. So I can deal 30 damage here and just like stop this from happening, which is probably the correct course of action. But I also need to get these 2 things out to kind of help me keep scaling. So I can do this because this actually will duplicate the die back. Do this again, so we have that back in. Now I would love to kind of trigger this to get some health back, but it's not actually worth it. And I need to set up for the next turn. So 42 damage. I mean, the good news is... yeah, don't lose anything on that by doing so. That actually gives me healing, so I can actually survive other stuff. We're at 30, we got 44 here. We take 4 damage, we already blocked that. Duplicate that up then. No point in going overboard with it. Okay, this build is a lot more effective than I thought it would be. I make this mistake every single time. Like, every time I ever do it, right? I'm like, oh yeah, this build is like, okay, we actually win already, so there's no point wasting more life. I always forget, like, how powerful this scaling build in this particular way is. Because I kind of underestimate, like what ends up happening. 15 spells cast, roll a die, doesn't seem great, roll a die. Get 2 Vex die. I'm not really a fan of that. Because I need to keep like a 4 or stuff to pay off at the end of turn. The extra 1s on this seem kind of good, but not really, because I like the 3s to be around. Like, they're great if I have this ready and raring to go in a turn as another attack. But in most cases, I'll just be using Vindictive Strike instead as sort of like passive damage, rather than this that I have to scale every turn to use. It's good payoff though. Reclamation is my opposite to Leech, so that's why I want this around as well. I think this being just 3 is going to be so good. Like, the extra health loss would be interesting, but no. Don't need to worry about scaling. I need to just have more die consistently. The sap would destroy me, because I need my defenses and health gain and stuff. This is terrible, because I just lose 1 die. So we're going with the Balance Mana Pearl. Pearl. But yeah, we're going to mess around. We're going to see what we can do with this one. More life, no. Turn 4, enemies gain 4 more power. Do we beat them by then? Can we one-shot them by turn 4? Or do we just give our bosses 4 more power to start with? I think that's fine. Like, bosses scale anyway, we just allow them to scale higher, right? And I don't really like this one anyway, so if there's a path for me to take to not face everyone, I will probably end up taking it. But I do give one a shot. To do that, though, I'd have to fight 2 fights into an elite fight to maybe not get a payout, and go this route and then get some healing or max life, which would be pretty useful, and skip it. But I do want some of these. This is the problem. This is the problem. The thing is, with these fights coming on here, would mean I have to go fight into fight, then skip into fight to there. We go this route. At least with this route, I only have 2 fights early, then I can decide to... No, I don't really... I'm locked into it, aren't I? Like here I can bail and take maybe 1 with a fight before. We're going to risk it for the biscuit. We are going to go all over the place. Lifelink seems interesting. Don't care about any of these, to be honest. Increase night with 6 attack. Or switching a spell in my inventory. Reroll random die. Reroll lowest. Reroll all die. Twice. That's an interesting ritual. I would have liked the one to give me life back, though. But we'll take the growing... Arcane Infusion, actually, because that will at least increase my power output. Okay, this is where we're going to start our day off, are we? Well, let's start some scaling. It's so dumb already, like, you can do this. Up to 16. I don't know, actually, maybe the scaling is probably a better choice. If the other one, just it being 3, it's kind of like, well, what else am I going to do with it, right? Let's split this. We're always going to get at least a 4 or something, so we can actually use that straight away if we need to. Put that in there. Skip that. Get more armor again. Use the 2, I think, to gain some life back. Don't want to use the 6, because that seems like a terrible idea. But I should probably do this to take one of these guys, like, down a peg. And then we just have to accept they're going to take some damage back. Right. No, I can kill this guy off. Doesn't mean I don't have an attack. But that's the most dangerous one, right? And for 2 turns or a turn, we can relax and just, like, defend up a little bit. Right? Split that die. I would have loved to have used you guys, but unfortunately we already got enough damage and we got enough defense, so a 4 or higher, folks. Thank you very much. Oh, use the 2s first. No! Could have got more damage out of that. You'll gain a critical. That seems actually pretty useful. Again, this seems pretty useful as well, right? On deplete gaining that critical. Like, I get the setup right, get myself ready, get the critical, then hit them. Pyrahide seems interesting as well. Is Gathering Flames worth it? So I have Leech, which will probably be my main attack. This will come as an extra defensive option. This could be useful for just being able to trigger it, but I might not need that. I might just then need something that kind of boosts what I already have, or is healing. So yeah, it's actually worth taking that. It is actually worth taking. Oh, here we go. One of the worst fights I hate the most. It doesn't help that I've given all power as well. Split the die there, because we know that'll become a 3. Which can give me everything I need to kind of get going, as such. Because it's the Vex that annoys me the most, when it's like, oh yeah, here you go, here's just have the Vex on you for no apparent reason. I can't actually heal that. But is it the most block I'm going to get out of these, using this 3 times? Yeah, it is. Could use a potion to get more, but bit of damage lost. So this is why I didn't want the Vexlet, because it forces me to have to plan around the idea that I might have to, like, do my damage immediately or have more dice available, which is kind of what I didn't want to be forced to do. Right? Like, this now could land on either one of those, and I wouldn't be able to deal the damage that I want to try and basically kill my opponent. Right? Which this is the guy I kind of want to kill first, because he's more dangerous. I can't do that anyway with what I've got. Could get a critical, but again, that critical doesn't finish it. Let's kill one of these guys off, though, if I hit them twice. Which is probably a good idea. If this lands on a good 50-50. Probably won't, though. In which case, I might be boned. I might be boned. Ooh. Land in the one good place. And increase that by 6. So next turn we get a 2-shot on this guy. In theory. But again, we kind of landed in the worst possible scenario. Try and get as much defense as we can first. I can one-shot this guy, and then I die to this one. I should have used this to split the die. That's my own fault. Oh, that's such a bad turn for my own fault there. Okay, so I split this die. Lands in the worst way possible. So I can kill this guy off, right? But then I gotta try and defend against him without killing myself. And the healing doesn't trigger first. Oh, that's despicable. That is. That's my own fault. I played that badly. Completely. I should have used the potion before. That way I could have gained the extra armor and also got the attacks off. But duplicate the one pretty much. It is, to be honest, I will say it now. I think this is the most, like, the strongest build you can get is with Leech. Get the Vitae up, having the Blood Ward, having the Fickle Barrier, then going with Reclamation to finish. And, like, you've got, like, scaling armor that can be, like, you can't be one-shot then as well. If I got to that state where I could have Reclamation available with enough die to cast it, or it be discounted, then I probably would have been in a good position. But, unfortunately, it's the way things go. I mean, I'll keep up with these runs. I probably might just, like, try and force a few of these out at some point. Or maybe, if I get a bit of free time, set up a live stream to go and do it. But I'll have that planned in the works so I do get the free time. But anyway, if you do enjoy these videos, do leave a like, subscribe to see more. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.